What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Thought Process, the Rabbit Hole series. I'm here with my brother Greg. What's going on, man?
Doing pretty good,
Dude.
Looking up some videos to talk about tonight.
Yeah, man. I grew up in a Hispanic community which in fact it's our month this month, right? The Hispanic month or something. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know, but I'm gonna take all the credit right now. Anyway, so living in a Mexican household, my parents and my brothers and my siblings, we grew up with folklores and tales and myths and creatures and all sorts of things, back in Mexico. And then it didn't really follow us here, but it was always kind of cool to retell the stories to my friends of the stories when I was, back in Mexico. We had a lot of witches. We had a lot of weird creatures. A lot of...
we've talked about the witches before.
We did, right?
Yeah.
And so... anyway, today's podcast is basically regarding weird and strange creatures caught on tape. So let's buckle up your seatbelts.
Before jumping in, what's your favorite creature that doesn't exist? That
Mythological creature?
Yeah.
Ooh, I mean, if we talk about like ancient creatures, like in folklore or fairy tales, it would probably, for me, I mean, it's really hard because I like a lot of them.
I like the bridge trolls.
Bridge trolls?
Yeah. Pay me or I'm gonna eat your bones.
Those guys just sound mean, man.
That's great.
I don't know. I really like a lot of the Greek, like, mythology. All the Greek creatures, like the Hydra.
Okay.
I think that one was pretty interesting. Seeing a dragon with 3 heads turn into 1,000 heads. Is that the same thing? Or is that from
doesn't
Hercules?
The Hydra have 9 heads? Or does it starts with 3, you chop one off, grows 2 back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's I think that or Godzilla, man. I grew up watching Godzilla. Godzilla was a shit for me.
I like that one with the guy from Jurassic Park. It's probably the only Godzilla I really liked.
It was Godzilla in 2000.
Well, it was in
New York.
Yeah, it was in New York.
And they killed it. They killed Godzilla.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
Actually, that's been my favorite from all time.
Yeah,
I think
it's the only good one to watch, like, over and over. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember they like baited him in the middle of New York with a bunch of fish or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they just freaking started blasting him with rockets that were just like, ah, ow, oh, ah.
Yeah.
Had to drop a nuke on his face, right?
They basically shot a missile into his mouth. Yeah. But you grew up here in the States, Orange County. Like the kids that you grew up with, did they ever bring any like any of this like creatures, things that they might have seen? You said you grew up with kids who were like Hispanic.
Yeah.
Right?
They talked about like Satan more than anything.
Satan? El Diablo? El Cucuy?
Yeah. Like, I think I've told this story before, but my best friend's, I think it was his uncle. He came one day and was telling a story, and I couldn't understand what he was saying because he was talking in Spanish. And then my friend told me afterwards the story. And he said his uncle came home one night and he was taking his shoes off from work, like sitting on the edge of the bed, and he's taking his shoes off like this, and he gets them off and he goes to put his feet up on the bed, and he said something from under the bed grabbed him. He could see a hand grab his leg, and was like pulling him. And he said that Satan was trying to pull him to hell. And I was like, nah.
Was he tripping out?
No.
I mean, I there's so many stories that I was told, but the problem is that I've never experienced anything like that, so it's really hard for me to even just think about it I don't know what to think.
I feel like I've seen things that I can't really explain what the heck happened, but it was more like could have been like a bat or an owl or a bird at night that you just can't see and it's flying. It's like during the day you don't really have close encounters with things that fly. Like the birds stay away. Like a giant owl doesn't just like fly right next to your head. But I swear at night they just want to like fly into things. So they'll like go right next to your head and you don't know what it is and you hear all these noises you don't normally hear during the day.
Yeah, I think the problem for with people is that we have a really big imagination.
Yeah.
And we always want to see things that aren't really there, you know? And I mean that's been my experience with the paranormal or whatever. But with creatures, you know, I have this story, man. Back in Mexico, so my brothers, when we were growing up, they were like very mischievous. They were, you know, troublemakers. They were just doing whatever they could. Like back there, we only had one TV, and not every program was like interesting, right?
Yeah.
So for fun, we would just go out and explore and just be kids, you know, break glass, whatever. We would go to the it's called El Cerro, which is like the forest, desert forest. And we just, you know, they would carry like machetes. I mean, these are the types of guys that, you know, back then who were just getting into trouble. Anyway, so one night they broke into their school.
With machetes?
No, they just broke into their school to go get the snacks from like I don't know, whatever, like from the school. They were just breaking into the school. And they were on top. They went on top of the roof to get in, and they were walking on the roof, you know, just messing around, just doing whatever, trying to break in. And one of them saw a dog on the roof, and they freaked them out, dude. They came home. They were.
I'm assuming it's in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They came home. They were crying. I remember them crying. I remember seeing them crying. My mom was like, "You see, that's why you don't go out there." You know, they were saying that the dog had red eyes, and one of the guys, dude. So the roof, it was like I guess the height would be the equivalent of 1.5 stories. So they booked it, dude. They just jumped up. One of the guys actually ended up breaking like their ankle. They rolled their ankle because they were freaked out. They literally jumped off the roof. And dude, then never again. They never did shit like that anymore. So to see them that scared and having been there, for me, it's like, okay, there might be stuff out there that I really don't know. And that's the whole purpose of this podcast. You know?
Yeah.
By the way, it's not a COVID cough. I have allergies. We've been hit with a wildfire. Is this still going on, dude? I haven't really been up to date on the news, but
yeah, but I don't know. I haven't really. I've noticed it only because the skies are red, but I don't smell fire. I don't notice. I see some ash, but it's not like the other fires we've had before, where you can barely see. It looks foggy and it smells terrible.
I don't know, dude. My allergies have been really messed up. Like, I don't feel any type of like fever or headache or none of that. It's just like when I inhale, I have like a scratchy throat, you know, and it started from like 2 days after the fires. So I don't know. Anyway, so let's get into this episode. We already have a clip for you guys, and we're gonna open up the Matrix window so that you guys can join us and take a look at what we're watching. Why do we have two here? Let's see. All right. So this one, it looks like it's in a set in a cemetery, and the camera zooms in, and behind a big tombstone, you see a figure.
Almost kind of looks like an octopus head on a human body, but like no tentacles, just like.
Why is it so shaky?
The person's freaking out.
Dude, this is how I know this is not real. If I were to see this, I would not be there. I would stop. Why are you, first of all, what are you recording at the cemetery?
I mean, you whipped out your phone to record this.
A thing just standing there?
Yeah.
You would do that?
Maybe. If it wasn't looking at me?
No way.
If I felt safe enough?
Dude, let's say that you see an alien. There's no way you're going to sit there and see what happens next.
But I mean, it can be the same thing as like that explosion that just happened on the port, where people were videotaping it because of the fire, and then it exploded, and then people put their like cameras down to react to what happened. But you saw it, you reacted. There was nothing really to do. So what's your next step? Let's take a picture of this.
Have you ever been scared, Greg?
Yes.
Did you have time, or did you even think about whipping out your phone?
And sometimes when it settles down, yeah.
When it settles down.
But no, when you like looking at the video, it didn't run at her or him, whoever it is. It didn't run. It didn't really move. Didn't make any sudden movements. Wasn't staring. Like if I was in the forest and there was a pack of wolves, my first instinct isn't just to run.
You're gonna whip out your phone?
Whip out your phone and videotape it.
No, dude. It's easy to say. No, it's easy to say it when you're not in the moment. But trust me, I've been in certain situations where it wasn't like life or death, but the last thing I was thinking about was whipping out my phone, punching in a password to get a video of it.
Well, let's go with this, like the riots and the peaceful protests. There's people videotaping everything. Yep,
dude, but it's people. Like if you see something,
but it's not safe. If people are especially during some of the shootings that are recorded, like how that's not safe. You're gonna record people when they're shooting.
But here we're talking about the paranormal. Okay,
it's the same concept though.
It's
like,
not.
When you're in fear, and like what is fear? Fear is you're scared of something bad happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. This is your same reactions.
I think they vary.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you saw that, you wouldn't initially think, "Oh, this thing's gonna kill me."
Well, check this out.
You may be like, "What in the heck?"
What if you're swimming around, you have a waterproof phone, and you're scuba diving,
mm-hmm.
and you see a shark, or you're snorkeling better. You're snorkeling by yourself. You see a shark on its way over to you, or just swimming around. Are you gonna take out your phone?
Maybe.
You're not gonna take out your phone.
I might use it so I can punch it in the face.
But you're not gonna record the thing. That's my point. It's when it comes to things that are like
if you need to keep reacting to the situation, like if the shark kept coming at me and then I punch it in the face, it would go away and then come back at me again. There's a continuous need to pay attention. What I'm saying right here is there's no aggression. There's nothing outside of that initial fear of what is this to warrant you being paralyzed in a sense, not being able to do something. You want to record this kind of thing so you can share it. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not like someone gets so scared they can't record it.
That's so far fetched
like
to me because
That's what I'm saying. Like, if a pack of wolves is coming to attack you, you won't pull out your phone to record it. But if there's a pack of wolves in the distance who may be paying attention to you, you may pull your phone out and record it, because there's the difference in the fight or flight. You're not in fight or flight at that time.
Right, but what I'm saying, okay, from the picture that we just seen, this doesn't seem like a person, nor a regular thing. So for me, this would be the last thing I would do. And I'm pretty sure that's across the board for people. Like
when you see a UFO in the sky, what do? You pull out your phone and you record it. What if that thing has planet destroying capabilities?
I mean,
that's my point. Like, you don't know what's happening.
The thing is with UFOs, they've been actually, people have gotten PTSD. People go crazy over these things.
Well, yeah, but I mean, most sane-ish people don't go crazy over UFOs.
But how do you know they weren't sane before?
I mean, sure, but
look,
I don't know, man.
The point is, like, if I were to see something like this in a cemetery, the last thing I would do is pull out my phone and just record it.
If it wasn't doing anything, which it doesn't look like it was doing anything, I would.
So let's say that you see this reptile the size of your height, and it's like looking at you, and it's behind, and you're in the cemetery, it's behind a tombstone. You're gonna pull out your phone to record it at that point in time? I don't think so. I think you'll shit your pants.
Once you assess it, is what I'm saying. Like,
so you're saying that this guy was there for 10 minutes?
No, I'm not saying that. But if you watch it, that thing was obviously already where it was at. It wasn't like
it wasn't
like Bigfoot, where Bigfoot's running through the forest. Like,
to my point, I don't think this is real.
Oh no, it's definitely not real.
Oh my god!
We were arguing. No, we were arguing something completely different. No. That's why I was bringing up the same concept as wolves. This is definitely not real. I know that.
We're talking about this specific.
Wait, hold on a second. Rewind that a little. Or hit play real quick.
Hang on. You want me to share it?
Yeah.
Look,
dude, that alien's head is green. Look at Steve. This motherfucker.
Steve, what are you doing there, man? And the distortion, just no.
So what's that? Like it. Goes into a new one?
Yeah, this one is this is Bigfoot. We already went through this one.
That's the one thing that they've said about some of the Bigfoot things, is the way that, like, you see how the arms are? Uh-huh. It's longer than normal human arms. Even if you were to hold something, the consistency in some of the videos has been too much for different people to recreate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the movements are too similar for two different people to just recreate without, like, analyzing each other's information or sharing the movements.
Wouldn't you say that from the first clip that went viral back in the day, where the guy put on the suit and he did that, like, famous Sasquatch looking back? People were gonna copy that.
Yeah, I mean, it could have just been a guy in a ghillie suit, and he was out there trying to snipe.
Honestly,
someone.
I'm more of the idea that Bigfoot, I mean, it's a bear. It's just been a bear up on its feet.
Maybe he was about to die and he was so skinny.
Yeah, I mean, there's bears that are skinny. Yeah. There's a lot of bears, like black bears. They're skinnier than, like, the.
Maybe this one was, like, anorexic, like close to death, and so it was walking all funky, and it was super skinny, and it just didn't look like bear. I mean,
it's fun to believe. The Sasquatch one, but I think that one's a whole podcast on itself. I want to listen to the people who, and maybe be in the room with someone who actually claims to have had an experience with it.
It's interesting because I looked at this a couple weeks ago because I was watching a video where they were trying to, like, they were playing a joke on someone who, like, believes in Sasquatch, and so I looked into it, and a lot of them don't claim to have experienced Sasquatch, but have found things that prove Sasquatch exists. And there's only a few people who they believe has actually seen it. So it's kind of interesting.
Like what? Like seen what?
Almost like there's a prophet. This person has seen Sasquatch and can give you more information.
The thing about Sasquatch, man, it's like, I know that, the U.S. has a ton of forested area. But come on. In 2020, with the devices that we have, drones, with everything, you're going to tell me we haven't gotten a real video or picture of Sasquatch?
Yeah. No. I can guarantee you there's some stuff we haven't seen in the ocean.
Oh, 100%. The ocean's a different thing because it's miles and miles, right?
I don't know how we aren't spending more time discovering the ocean than we are trying to discover space. I feel like there's probably more useful things in the ocean that we have not been able to get at than in space. Space is a vacuum full of nothing.
Do you think that? Because if that was the case, corporations would have been all over that already.
But what have we not what have we gotten out of space? Like, we've gotten tools that have been created because they have to have it to go to space. But what has going to space gotten us? Like, there's no actual tangible thing from space. Like, people can argue, oh, satellites. But satellites were made here and put into space. But there's nothing in space that we took and we use. Like, let's say some kind of material on Mars or on the moon we use in creating soundboards and stuff. We haven't gotten anything like that. That's why I say there's stuff in the ocean that I'm pretty sure we can use. Like I guarantee you there's different types of kelp and vegetation in the lower areas of the ocean, different types of fish that we haven't been able to use. We use omegas from these fish. What if there's fish down below that have some other kind of I don't know, some kind of supplement that we could use for something. I mean, they hide, they don't get much sun, so maybe there's something that can help people who are the same way. You know what I mean?
Well,
like people who can't be in the sun.
Do you know what the cuttlefish is? The cuttlefish?
It sounds familiar. I don't know exactly.
Well, the cuttlefish, let's say that you were just scuba diving, and you just happened to see a cuttlefish. It's like an octopus, and it changes colors. It's got really bright neon colors.
Yeah.
Well, that's like an alien, and I'm sure we barely know anything about that.
What if our stories about space, like space travel and alien spacecraft and seeing different types of aliens, was really them just thinking about space, but taking the elements of the ocean? You know what I mean?
No.
Like, octopus are very alien-like. Suckerfish blow up. Like, there's a lot of interesting types of creatures in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And interesting types of creatures we've created out of other things in nature that are alien type.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't buy the Sasquatch thing.
What's up, Chris? Shout out to Chris Ayala. I hope Arizona's treating you right, man. Yeah, dude. Like I said, I don't really buy Sasquatch, man. I think it's more of a bear than anything else.
Sasquatch is not real.
Watch. I mean, if it's real, dude, I want to elect him for president. Bring humanity together, man. We need you. Let's see. What's number 3 on today's clips? Let's see. Well, it's so dark. I can't see.
You skipped 3.
I did?
Yeah. See, it's on 2.
What? I think they just messed up.
That's fake. Skip that.
Hang on. Dude, what is that, Superman?
I know, right?
Oh man, these people, they get so creative.
It straight out looks like a squirrel suit in some of the scenes, and in other scenes just looks like someone standing there.
A lot of these are
Some of these baby ones, I can believe that something's happening that we don't see. Regardless if it's the baby's not fully understanding things and reacting, or if there is something that they can see or understand that we don't. You know what I mean? Like a baby, like you see a video of a baby sitting next to a wall, and you hit the wall, and you go, oh no, the baby will start crying. Like the baby thought that they hit their head on the wall.
What?
Yeah, you've not seen that video before?
No.
People do it all the time. So they'll sit the baby like right here, and they'll like hit the wall so the baby can hear the noise, and then the adult will act like the baby hit their head, and the baby will freak out, start crying like the baby was dying.
Oh my God.
So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe they don't have an understanding of certain things to where maybe they're thinking something's happening, and they're reacting in the only few ways they know, and we see it as they're reacting like someone's there.
Greg, I don't think you want me to go that route. You ready for this one?
Go for it.
Okay. This happened in it must have been summer of 2006, give or take. I must have been about 15, 16. And my sister had just bought a house in Anaheim. She had my nephew. He was like 2.5 years old, 3 years old, just starting to walk and just learning to talk. Like he would just point at things and kind of just want to say things, right? And, he would wake up at night and just start crying. And my sister would find him he would start, because he's a big boy, dude. He would start climbing over the crib and go to the kitchen and then cry.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Happened for like a year or two. Well, guess what, dude? One time, my sister, she went to the casino. So I was just babysitting, and I was watching a movie, and my brother was there. We were watching a movie, and it was like late at night. He was playing. My nephew was playing, running around in the bedroom and just coming back and forth to the living room. When he goes and he says, "Hey, I want some milk." And then we're like, okay, we gave him some milk. He's like, oh, I need another one. And then we're like, what? What do you mean? He's like, yeah, it's for the girl. I was like, what girl? And he's like, by this point, he's probably 4 or 5, so he can talk.
Yeah.
He said, para la niña, which is the girl. And at this point, I was like, what are you talking about, dude? What girl? And he says, yeah, I'm playing with the little girl in my room. And I looked at my brother and I was like, dude, what the F? We go to the room and he goes in there. We followed him. And he's like, oh, she was just here. And dude, my hairs are standing up, dude, because you have no idea. Like that day. Perfect example. I was not gonna take my camera out to take a picture and see if I found it, dude, because I was so scared. I couldn't sleep that night.
Yeah.
And I had to sleep on the living room.
So I didn't have this experience, but one of my good friends growing up, he said he would see like a shadow figure of a guy. Like he could tell it was a guy. He could tell it was just a shadow figure, so he couldn't say like there were this features or that features, but he could essentially say he could communicate with the person in the sense of like hi, bye, like go over there. Like he would stay in a corner for the most part, and he essentially said like the relationship was more or less like, I know you're there, you know I'm here, and we do our own things. Like it wasn't like we would talk to each other.
This was growing up.
Yeah. And he would see it all the time. Sometimes it would freak him out, like it would be creepy because it's like if someone that you didn't know just walked up and started staring at you, kind of thing.
You're talking about The Sixth Sense.
No, it's not a movie. This is one of my friends growing up.
But you know that movie?
Sure.
Like where I see dead people.
Yeah. So so growing up, it became more and more like he was getting scared because it was like, what is this? No one else can see it. It's freaky because there's no reason. And eventually, the pastor of the church we grew up in came to the house, prayed over the house, and like prayed in all the rooms to get rid of the figure. And he said, like over time he just stopped seeing him. Like it wasn't like instantly, but like over time it was like less and less. He started to like leave. And like I always think about that stuff. If it's consistent and as you grow up, you have a better understanding of things. So like have you ever gone to sleep and you wake up and let's say you have like a chair in your room. The chair is not in its normal spot, so you look up and you think someone's standing above you. Or like you see across the room, you have like a hanging shirt and you think someone's there. But then when you turn the light on, there's an explanation for it. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to say with like the kids. Like they can't piece together that explanation, so they give out the only few explanations they have.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe he was playing with a girl, but in the imagination.
But you know what happened though?
Huh?
Is that it was a point in time where it was just constant. My brother would get home late from like the club or wherever he was, the bar. And once he fell asleep, he would wake up to chains being dragged down the alleyway. Or like wood being dragged. And he would get up and and it wasn't just him. It was like my sister, because they had two bedrooms, right? And then my other brother came, and he was living in another bedroom. It was like a three bedroom house. They would all come out at the same time because they heard it. And there was nothing there. And there was always like a baby crying.
See, these are
in the backyard, like in the middle of the night.
Wouldn't you think about these things and be like, this is kind of a consistent thing. It's freaking me out enough. Why don't I try to make some precautions, like have an audio recording or have a camera? Like, I feel like I've heard paranormal stuff. Like I've always been paranoid when I'm somewhere by myself. Yeah. But most of the things I can explain. Like the place where I grew up in my parents' house, the doors, they were just cut above the ground enough to where you can see the light coming in from out, and you like there's like a shadow there. And in the hallway, you can hear from the kitchen, you can hear the refrigerator, and the refrigerator over time kind of sounds like it made like a walking noise. It would go boom 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 boom, and in the room it would sound like someone's walking down the hallway. And then under the doorway, that shadow sometimes moves, so it looks like there's footsteps by the doorway. So if you're home by yourself and that happens, you think someone's in your damn house. You can explain it and you know full well what's going on. But
like if you had a guest over,
you're just like, oh hell no.
Yeah. Well, in Mexico, I would spend the night at my sister's house. And at night, okay, so my brothers, we lived like 30 minutes, maybe it was like 15 minutes driving from like the downtown. Mm-hmm. 30 minutes like on a bike and like 45-minute walk. Maybe like an hour walk. Well, my brothers would have to get up like at 4 a.m. and leave like at 4:15, 4:30 to go to school from where the school was. And they would leave. We would spend the night over at my sister's. They would leave at 4 a.m. and I would stay sleeping there. Dude, I can't tell you how many times things moved around. Like things were like banging around, like somebody was looking through dishes. And every night, dude, I would cry. I would call out for my sister, and she would eventually get me. It happened so many times. I mean, as I got older, I thought maybe it's just like mice, rats. I mean, we probably had rats there. They were pretty common in that area. But it was, you're a kid, dude. Like your imagination's going crazy, and especially all the stories that you heard. Yeah. Yeah, you start piecing one and two. I was like, oh shit, dude, I don't know what's in here. So, but most of these things have, they seem to have some sort of like explanations. All right, let's see what people on the chat are saying. So we got Chris saying, our ocean does not pose a threat. The government will not waste resources on something useless like the ocean. Space is more unknown between meteorites and other unknowns. That's a good point.
But if we haven't discovered over 90% of it, how can you say that it's useless?
Yeah, maybe that was an overstatement. But
you know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying is like, wouldn't if like the ocean, if maybe they already scanned it, they found nothing there, and that's why they're not wasting
something, and they made a deal with Poseidon saying, "Hey, we're gonna just go to space instead because you guys are obviously stronger than us, and you're going to kill us if we try to invade. So we'll go this way."
You think Poseidon has a nuke?
The Poseidon has the goddamn ocean. He'll flood us. It probably happened once in history, and we thought it was.
So this whole time, right? We're blaming global warming or
when Poseidon
is
warning us, get out of my goddamn ocean, or I'm gonna melt your goddamn caps and flood your ass.
Hey, Chris said that he's down for a ghost hunting episode of Thought Process.
Ghost hunting?
Yeah,
we're gonna get like all the readers and stuff.
Well,
somewhere.
Why don't we? There's a lot of downtown areas that actually in Santa Ana. So for fire tech, when I was taking fire classes, we did a downtown walk, and we went through some of the haunted areas, and they were creepy. Did you know Santa Ana has like underground tunnels?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went through like all of that. We went through that. We went through old abandoned, like quote unquote, the most haunted house in Santa Ana. And I mean, I never saw anything, but one time
you don't see anything unless you're by yourself.
I took my wife to the Titanic to do the ghost hunting there. So cool, dude.
The Queen Mary does it too.
Oh, the Titanic. The Queen.
That's why I was like the Titanic.
The Queen Mary, dude.
Did you find Jack?
We went to the Queen Mary, and
they take you to the engine room and all of that.
We went through that's pretty creepy. I mean. It's like creepy
because they've talked it up. It's the same thing. Why we find certain things scary. Like that's why I think some people see things when they don't actually see it because they've talked themselves up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your imagination.
Where sure someone else can do the same thing to you, but there are times where you have more power against yourself than someone else does.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure that had something to do with it, like making it creepier than like, what it really was. But honestly, dude, okay, you remember going to the Magic Castle?
Yeah.
Okay. You know those vibes you got there?
Yeah.
I got the same types of vibes in some of the rooms. Not all of them. Like, I got that vibe, the weirdness. It was like a little colder in the pool area. Like, as soon as we walked into the Queen Mary, into the pool, it was weird. And it wasn't like, seeing an empty pool, like whatever. But when you're walking or you're going from like one side of the hall to the other side of the hall, that like in between was weird. it was just, you get these vibes that it was just, it put me a little on the edge. Yeah. And I don't know, dude, they could have talked it up, right? But there's definitely, I mean, personally, I've felt some weird things. I've had those types of vibes before where I don't know what it is, but I know there's something there. I have a video.
I mean, if you think about that stuff, there's so many different things that can happen. Like, they could change oxygen levels in rooms. You can change temperatures from here to there. Like, it's the same reason why some days you wake up and the day feels like it's going to be good, even though there's no reason for it to feel good. It's just, like, it's the same thing. You wake up one day and you think that something's going to go wrong. It's just the moods that your body gets put in based off of everything it's sensing.
Yeah, I'm sure that's got something to do with it. But so I mean, these creatures, dude. What creeps you out more? Would you rather? Okay, because in Mexico, I mean, we kind of went through it on one of the last podcasts. We have things called nahuales, which is a witch turning themselves into an animal. And I don't know if that's creepier than seeing, like, because, you know, people talk about, now I'm not going to say people, but we know a very well-known guy on YouTube who got banned for, Alex Jones got banned from YouTube. One of the things he was saying was that China was experimenting with chimeras.
Yeah, but he's using the word chimera in the definition sense, not in the mythological sense.
So what's a chimera?
Show it. Chimera, I'm pretty sure, is like 3 different bodies in one, and it's usually consistently the same all the way through.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's like, isn't it like a lion's head, a dragon's body, and a
snake's tail.
Snake's tail or something like that? Yeah.
Well, is it true?
But then now, when you use it in a definition sense, it's the same concept, having multiple types of different things in one animal.
Wow.
So that's why it's like, because I listened to that whole concept about the whole chimeras and all that, was that the pigs are growing human organs.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you think about it in a sense, like, if you're farming organs, I don't know. I get it's kind of a weird, because you think about it, it's like when we kill the animals, we don't eat the organs. We eat the food, but do they become more human than pig? Or is it just the organs are growing like human? So we can use the organs for if someone needs a heart transplant or something like that.
This is the thing that I see.
So am I still getting my bacon out of it, or am I eating more human flesh type bacon? It's going to be different now.
This is what I see, dude. What if, I mean, okay, they're doing this already, right? Mm-hmm. What would stop them from making a human animal body? What would stop them from doing that?
What do you mean by human animal body?
Like Man Bear Pig from South Park.
So creating like a
hybrid,
something we could use as a hybrid we want. Like, we already use animals. We don't think of it as a human. That's crazy.
Because you have to think, they're already doing the organs. What would stop them from just saying, you know what? What else could we do? Could we replace a leg?
It's called Jurassic Park, dude.
Well, yeah, like bioengineering.
Yeah, we didn't learn anything from the Jurassic Park movie.
So sad that's going to be our humans' demise is our own. You know, our own demise is us. It's basically chimeras. Well, I showed you it was a monster that washed ashore.
He said it washed ashore on Staten Island, and it was the image clearly looked like the animal was dead. It wasn't alive.
So
it came from the water, but didn't necessarily look like a water creature.
Yeah. So
like the skin was almost kind of like a seal skin, but looked like it was only that way because it was decomposing in the water. Well, it looked closer to like a beaver,
all right,
but not fuzzy and doesn't have like a flat tail.
Ooh, dude.
It almost looked like, where's Staten Island? That's New York, right?
So
Staten Island is New York, isn't it?
Something interesting about Staten Island.
I can tell you what that is.
What is that?
Staten Island is in New York, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those freaking New York rats that the size of a dog that was thrown in the ocean and lost its hair and started decomposing. Look at it. It looks like a giant rat dog.
This is what's his name? Master Splinter?
Shredder got his ass. Yeah.
Well, the paws look a little weird, man.
No, that looks like a rat. Straight out looks like a rat.
It's a big rat, dude.
That
looks weird. Is that a dog?
It looks weird, but it looks decomposing.
Yeah, who knows how long it's been there, right?
Yeah, and once you start decomposing, things don't look the same.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah, that's so true. But that's a weird one. But I've seen, I think there's a laboratory, like a research laboratory in Staten Island.
Wuhan?
Huh?
In Wuhan?
No.
Dude, did you heard that there's another virus that a group of people got that were working in a factory in China?
No. What was that?
I think it was like last month.
What?
Yeah, so they're hoping nothing comes from that.
Wave number 2? So 2020, dude, bring it on. I already got that wildfire cough, dude. So it's called Plum Island, and they do foreign animal disease laboratory research.
Oh, animal disease.
Yeah.
The one I'm talking about it's an animal disease that can be spread to humans, but human to human spreading is not common. So they're isolating the animals. Swine flu? So it's easy. Bird flu? Yeah, it's easy for animals to transmit, and humans will most likely not get it. But the humans have been getting it.
But I want to know. Okay, let's just go and type it in.
But see, that's the crazy thing. When you have laboratories like that, where like you have all these like diseases and things, how is it that these people can still live a normal life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you don't just get off work and go to the club. Like Friday night, I'm all done. I'm going to go out Friday night. Like you just spread whatever disease you were just working on today.
Yeah, but people do that. I'm sure. I'm 100% sure because people are people.
I don't know. There may be some kind of... I mean, it may happen, but I feel like there's some rules for working in those kind of places where most people don't stay long.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Huh. I don't know what that's about. Let's see. Where is the...
But I mean, what if a lot of these alien sightings were tested people or tested animals? Like what if that video was real and that guy was going to visit whoever that was to say goodbye because he knew he was going to be dead?
What if the Greys are just people in gray suits?
The Greys? What do you mean the Greys?
These guys.
Oh,
Steve.
You mean aliens?
Yeah.
The Greys sounds kind of racist.
Why is that racist? You mean I'm labeling them?
But I don't know. Maybe Who knows? If they're making chimeras, I mean, the chimeras, I saw a video of them. They just look like pigs. Like, there's nothing, they don't look humanish. So until you cut them open and look at the organs, there's no difference between that pig and another pig. Just like Elon Musk just came out, and those pigs had the chips in their brain. The chips weren't making them do anything different. Right now, they're just there to read how the brain reacts, and they're mapping out how things work.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you think that they were the first ones to test these things, they probably weren't. You got to get the idea from something. You know what I mean? And just tweak it,
dude. Let's see what we have.
Just like how you get seedless watermelons.
Yeah, right.
Why would you ever want a seedless watermelon in the sense of making sure things continue on? That's like saying creating humans to not have babies. Could you imagine that being an option when you have a baby and there's I forget what the name of the test is, but it's where they test to make sure like your baby doesn't have some kind of disease, or if they have Down syndrome, or if they're at high risk for certain things.
Mm-mm.
There's like there's a test they do, and they're pretty accurate with it. But what if at that same time they ask you, do you want your child to be able to have babies or not? Just like there's watermelons with seeds and not with seeds.
Well, I think that's didn't we hear that from on Joe Rogan? On Joe Rogan's podcast about CRISPR?
I don't know what that. I haven't heard that.
CRISPR. Let's see. Let me see if I have it right. Is a CRISPR, clustered regularly interspaced short blah, 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 is a family of DNA sequences found in the genomes of prokaryotic organisms such as bacteria and archaea. So apparently from this, we found the way to reprogram DNA. Uh-huh. So now you can actually pay a buttload of money to choose how you want your kid to come out.
Yeah, I know about that.
So,
but it's not common.
Well, not common yet, but it's like luxury cars.
Yeah.
Or it was like the car back then. The car was super expensive back when it was invented, but nowadays you can get one for pretty cheap.
But when that happens, it's like insemination, right? Where they splice whatever they're doing and then they inseminate you, right? It's not like they don't just like give you a pill and be like, okay, now have sex and have a baby. They have to inseminate you for that to happen.
Yeah, it's like you artificially inseminate them. Yeah,
that's so
weird. I mean, do you think that maybe all the creatures that we have heard about come from animal experiments? What if Sasquatch was actual? It was an actual thing. It was just an experiment. It happened to get out in the middle of the forest. Somebody happened to see it, and then next thing you know, they caught onto it. They put it back in a cage. Or,
I mean, if you were abused in that sense and dragged to those lengths, like most people say, he's kind of got like a conish head. His arms are longer now. He's got hair everywhere. If he started as a normal human like me, he's probably brain dead-ish. So all he's knowing is fight or flight, and he's running away. He's like, ah! Like he doesn't know to ask for help anymore. Like, man,
it's
sometimes you ask the wrong questions, sometimes you ask the right questions, and you don't even know.
And we don't even know, dude. Let's see.
That's the crazy thing. It's like, why do you think the first person was like, I want to go through and look at DNA so I can chop it up and create what you want your baby to be? You know what I mean?
Because people have money.
Yeah, but why? Like, I'm not... Like, you think of ideas, but you don't follow through on, like, half of them. The reason you follow through on things usually is because you have a drive for it. So what causes that drive for certain things? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what causes the drive if I want to go and see how I can create a specific type of baby?
Because dude.
And does that affect the baby? When they find out, like, I created you how you are?
The problem with that is that most of the things that people do, they do because they're well intended. Most of the things. I'm not talking about like, back then when they invented mustard gas so that, you can make people's flesh just melt.
I think that was an accident, actually.
Mustard gas?
Yeah.
I don't think that was an accident.
Yeah, because you can create mustard gas with most chemicals within your house.
No, the guy was, and if I'm not mistaken, the guy was an engineer who worked in Germany. I think he was he was part of the Nazis, and it was a way that it was like when they gassed the Jews. It was the same chemical, but they changed one thing and it became something worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
well, it's just like with
I might be mistaken, but
yeah. Like with Play-Doh, it was the person who was making Play-Doh was making it for like construction purposes. And then it was like, oh, this is now a toy.
Yeah.
There's this creature you're bringing up now.
Strange mythical creatures.
Oh no, don't do this one. This guy, he'll play clips, but then he'll go back to playing like a video game while he's talking about the clip.
What?
Yeah, see?
What?
It's weird. It's like he talks about whatever he wants. So he'll have a subject. That one was about creatures. And he'll show a little clip and then he'll start playing like Fortnite while he talks about it. And you're just like, what? But it works. He's actually fairly popular.
Yeah.
I've watched it quite a few times, yeah.
Dude, check this out. That looks like a bear?
A bear? No, that looks like a fox and a wolf, kind of.
That's a big wolf. But
wolves are huge, dude.
Oh, that does look like a wolf. But it kind of
doesn't look
unnatural. It looks like.
What about that looks not natural?
It's just weird.
Yeah, that's not big. It's that's a pencil.
It says experts know the animal is a yurg. What's a yurg?
I've heard that word before.
What's a yurg? A non-lactating female. It's what? I don't know.
Member of the dog family, which includes wolves, but they're not 100% sure exactly what it is.
It's weird.
So it almost kind of looks like like a werewolf, like transforming into a werewolf almost. But did you put it on the Matrix window?
Yeah.
But I mean, we have those kind of things. That's what I've always been curious about. Is like we'll get misformed of anything. Like a baby can come out and it's missing a nose, or like I don't know, a gorilla comes out and it has what is that called when you're pale skinned? Albino. You get an albino gorilla.
Yeah.
Like you'll get things that aren't normal.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say that wolf wasn't normal and it grew up and then finally you discovered it.
It mutated.
Yeah, because I mean, nothing about that looked out of the normal. It just looked slightly different.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm curious. I mean, look at the gorilla. What if it was a super thin gorilla mixed with a bear? What if somewhere along the line, some bear and gorilla had a baby?
Greg, don't you think that this has been way too normalized for us?
What?
Like animals in general?
What do you mean by that?
Like we think about animals as oh yeah, they're just animals. But if you really sit here and think about that, did you see that?
That gorilla, dude. If
Did
that's
you
what I'm
see
saying.
that?
That's just what I'm saying. Pause it. Like right here,
Hang on,
person
let me-
has the camera out. There's nothing to be worried about. They're not gonna attack.
No, I think this
and
is
then
like,
this mother charges his
I
ass
think this
right
is
at
a
you.
trail cam.
That's when you run.
This is a trail cam. So check this out. If you're just camping out in the forest or in the jungle in this case, you know, and you just happen to see like a pack of, what are they called, packs of gorillas?
No, they're called what's that one? There's the band, the Gorillas. No, what is it called?
A band?
There's a band named after what a pack of gorillas is called.
You don't. I don't know what that would be.
What are they called? I can't even remember.
But wouldn't you think that, like, just look, okay, we're gonna play you guys this clip. So this is a trail cam. It's a bunch of gorillas, and there's a silverback gorilla that's just about to charge. It like sees something and it just charges. Dude,
you can see the speed in it and how quickly it went.
Isn't that crazy? That's what I'm saying. Like, don't you think that we've just normalized this?
I mean, in a sense, I've not seen a gorilla
ever,
and it's normalized enough to me where I don't have to worry about it. But if I was out there in the forest, like if I lived in that forest, that's a threat.
Like let's say that you went to some part of Africa and you're camping and you just see this here, what we just saw. That would trip you out. Oh my God, guys, you have no idea. I just saw some aliens. You know?
Yeah.
Like these are the kind of things that we really don't.
Yeah, so if you
really don't
can't see
know.
it. Yeah.
And it's really easy to let your just imagination run wild. Oh man. Honestly, dude, I really haven't seen much.
I mean, the last thing that I could say that I believed was real was this new fish a fisherman found. Outside of that, I haven't seen anything where I'm like, okay, that's probably real.
Did you see that shark?
Things don't really. There's not really much actual discovery. There's creation or discovery of things that aren't visible to like the human eye. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like scientists doing tests and stuff like that. But like, there's just not much discovery, like land discovery or animal discovery. You know what I mean?
Check this out, Greg. This here in the ocean, somewhere in, I think it's Japan.
That's an eel.
It's a shark. It's a prehistoric shark, apparently. It's a shark. Look at that. We haven't seen this type of shark in ages. I don't think ever. This must be the first recording ever. It's a shark, like it looks like an eel.
Yeah, dude.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like you're swimming and you see that.
I mean,
definitely trip you out.
Yeah, if you think about it, like when we say something goes extinct, like how the only reason we say it's extinct is because we don't see it common enough. Like if that thing went deeper into the ocean to try to stay alive, and that's why it survived. Like, how would we know? We haven't discovered 90% of the ocean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy. Robert just called you an alien. Why don't you you can get them. Just tell them to come in if you want.
Nah. I'd have to move everything. But yeah, there's I don't know. I fear what I can't see, and it doesn't even have to be like a creature.
Yeah.
Like I turn off the lights in here and start walking out and think there's something behind me.
Just paranoid.
Yeah.
So this is another one. Look at this, Greg. The different type of prehistoric shark. This is the one from Japan. Look at it.
That's a super deep water thing. I've seen those.
You've seen this shark?
Yeah. I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen videos of them.
Whoa, look at it.
Look at how pale they are. They're the deep sea fish.
Look at the wave. Oh, what?
That thing lockjawed. Or no, that's not what it's called, is it? Yeah, lockjaw, right? Or they just like break their...
Oh my god. No, lockjaw is something you get.
Lockjaw is when they
you're talking about
down.
Dislocate their jaw.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Dude.
Almost kind of looks like a puppet.
I would think that's an alien. Look at that. That's so crazy.
So interesting. Like, you see that? Is that a light we're looking at? Or is that like the sun from the sky?
It must be a light. I think it's in the dark.
Like, I wonder if they ever think that like they're in like a bowl or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's the exit. But like as you go up, it's just like light.
Yeah.
Have you seen like dolphins jumping?
What?
Like dolphins can jump so high out of the water.
You mean, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that.
Like there's things that we don't even seem to know animals do.
And animals and people are alike, dude. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. It's a lion with the cubs, and he's fed up with them, and he definitely does not seem like he wants to pay child support. He's gonna go for some cigarettes. That's so funny, dude. Look at him. Look at him. Oh damn, my mistakes are following me. That's funny, dude. Even just a lion. Even just a lion, Greg. To me, it almost doesn't seem real. You know?
Yeah.
It's one of those things, dude. It's crazy. Yeah.
At the same time, why is everything here and not anywhere else?
What?
Why are there animals and fish and sharks and humans, but everywhere else we've gone or everywhere else we've looked, there's not anything?
I think that's for the next podcast, man. What do you guys think? You know, we're interested in actually. You know, today I kind of feel bad I wasn't able to find any real creepy creatures from the unknown. But if you guys have videos,
no one's actually believed that the mythical creatures exist nowadays.
Not mythical creatures, but you know, we've seen like creatures wash up ashore. I've seen like that fallen angel. Like, is that the demon that I showed you last time? Is that a real video or what? You know, no. How do you know? Where do we get these videos? So I'm gonna ask you listeners to send in your videos so that we can post them on our social media. Now that we're a little bit more active there, maybe we'll edit a clip of the videos that you guys send us, and we'll show it next time. We'll go through it. Honestly, I didn't know how much you need. So much time to research things in advance.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you know, when we do it live, we don't really know what to expect. The last one we had with which one did we do?
Relationships?
No.
Oh, you mean the rabbit hole?
Yeah. It wasn't the UFOs. It was we did vaccines. Disney. We kind of went in kind of knowing what we wanted to talk about, and it just made it easier, you know. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in listening to us talk about a specific topic, you know, put it in the comments. Leave us a comment on our social media. We'll take a look. We'd be happy to go through any topic, you know. In fact, we need ideas.
Good or bad, don't matter.
It doesn't matter. Just be a little bit more involved in the community. We're trying to grow this community. I don't want it just to be a page or another channel. I want to grow a community here where, you know, if you have interesting people, I'd love to talk to them and interview them. If you have interesting videos, we'd love to watch them, discuss them, and just continue seeking for the truth of what's out there, you know? And so with that, we will leave you guys for today's episode.
Make sure to share this with everyone that you know. Hit the like, subscribe.
Yeah, tag us on your on the weird videos. If you see one on social media, tag us. You know, it'll make our research easier, and it'll be easier for us to compile and kind of just go through everything. So, you know, leave a comment, like this video, subscribe as always, and
see you next
continue seeking the truth, people. We'll talk to you guys next week. Goodbye.